Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Fighting's Final. I'm your host, Mike Lauro. Phil's win in Milwaukee on this Labor Day, 10-8. Woo! What a comeback by this Phillies team. Down 4-0 early, then again down 5-1. They fight back. Not a great start by Taijuan Walker. Did not look very well today at all. But with all that being said, the offense came through, bottom of the lineup. My God. Brandon Marsh today, 4 out of 5, 4 singles, as he literally just carried the Phillies today. He really did. Brandon Marsh today was 4 for 5. I'm sorry, 4 for 5. He was 4 for 5, not 3 for 4. 4 for 5 with 2 hits and 1 RBI. But to me, the guy I think who was the benefactor in driving in runs today was one Harrison Bader, who followed Brandon Marsh today. Between the two of them, they were 7 out of 10 in this lineup. If you're looking at the bottom of the order, literally 14, 19. They were 7, 8, 10. They were 10 for 19. So the bottom of the lineup from Brandon Marsh on down literally batted 500 today, guys. Literally batted 500 at the bottom of the lineup. So the Phils win 10-8 games. They still stay 5.5 up on those Mets. As the Mets also won today. Believe it or not, I believe it was by the same score. 10-8 in 10-8. The Mets did win today. So let's really kind of get into this game here a little bit. First and foremost, let's go. Boom. Adam C's checking in, says awesome win by the Phillies, and also happy Labor Day. Star Wars, we came back. Yes. Big Al Safiri checking in. It said 7 hits for Marsh and Bader. Unbelievable the way those two guys hit today, man. It is crazy. What is it? Stubbs even helped us with the win. I know. Can we stop with the whole Garrett Stubb things? Like, why is this dude even up here? Like, I don't care. I can say the Stubbs acting like a nut when he came in the score. Not a fan. Yeah. Al, I'm with you. Like, for real. This guy, the fact that they brought him up after they literally kept him down all season long in Lehigh Valley, to bring him up now is just a waste of a roster space, in my opinion. They could have brought Raccoons up. They could have brought back up Otto Kemp. They could have brought up Justin Crawford. Yeah, hello. But, yeah, unfortunately, they did not do that. They brought up Garrett Stubbs, and ugh. But that's right, though, because I don't think Garrett Stubbs will be up here much longer, only because the Phillies yesterday, Matty probably broke the news to you last night, signed starting pitcher Walker Buehler, who was released yesterday by the Red Sox. He wasn't out of work long. He got released by the Red Sox. The Phillies picked him up. So he will be down, I believe, this week. He will be having a start in AAA to get him just some work before they bring him back up here. I believe they said he would be starting, I believe, the Kansas City series. So he'll be in one of those. So, you know what? I mean, to me, just like I said, he said, we lost. I know we were down 4-0, 5-1. Eagles fan, listen, they didn't lose. They came back and won 10-8. So if you're one of those guys that turned that game off, listen, I wouldn't blame you, because I had to cover this game, and I'm sitting there watching it going, oh, this is going to be a long thing to talk about. But give the Phillies a little bit of credit, okay? And what I mean by credit is, yeah, they got the home run early from Harper, but, they could have brought no one else up. That's what I'm saying, Al. They could have brought – I just named 3 people they could have brought up over Garrett Stubbs. Jose Perez says, and an off day tomorrow. Series continues on Wednesday. Yes, and I think that's big. I think that's real big that they don't have to play tomorrow, because they had the late game last night with Atlanta. You figure they didn't get it. They probably didn't get in Milwaukee till like probably wee hours of the morning. And then they had basically what was tended to be like an afternoon game. What was it, a 3 o'clock game or something out there? So you figure they were at the ballpark by about 11, and they probably got in about, 2 their time. So It's crazy. Stover says, I was like, why keep playing the rest of the game? The Brewers already won, but I'm surprised the Phillies won. Well, there you go. I mean, they even kind of got you guys back on track here with this. All right, guys, we're going to go through this and, more or less, I mean, the Brewers got this thing going in a hurry. And what I mean in a hurry, Terang, first, bottom of the first, would hit a home run, putting the Brewers up 1-0. Okay, and then Perkins would come along right again a little later on in the first inning, hitting an RBI double, plating 2, giving the Brewers a 3-0 lead. Bottom of the second, Durham would hit a home run, putting them up 4-0. Now they were up 4-0 in this game, going in the first 4 innings. Top of the fourth would come along. Bryce Harper would go deep to deep center field. He would get off the schneid, putting the Phillies on the board at 4-1. Churio would hit a sac fly in the bottom of the fourth, giving the Brewers back their 4-run edge. And it would stay like that until the next inning, top of the fifth. Trey Turner would hit an RBI triple, scoring Kepler and Stott. So cutting that lead now to 5-3. They would go to the next inning. Top of the sixth, Harrison Bader would hit an RBI double, and JT Realmuto would score, cutting the lead to 5-4. Literally, the next batter, Max Kepler, would hit a sacrifice fly. Marsh would come in to score, tying the game at 5. And then Edmundo Sosa, in the top of the sixth, would hit a sac fly. And then Harrison Bader would score, putting the Phillies up 6-5. Bottom of the sixth, Churio would reach on an error by Bryson Stott. The run would come in to tie the game up at 6, and it would stay that way until the top of the 8th. No runs were scored in the 7th inning. In the 8th inning, Bader again with another RBI double. This time, Marsh would score, putting the Phillies up 7-6. Stott would follow right behind him with another RBI double, scoring Bader, giving the Phillies an 8-6 lead, and that would hold up until the bottom half of the inning when Collins would hit an RBI single with the bases loaded, with Contreras and Churio scoring, tying the game at 8. And then in the 9th, Brandon Marsh, off of a very controversial check swing by JT Realmuto, it would get called a ball. The Brewers manager would get tossed. I actually thought the bench coach was about to get tossed too. The first base umpire Jim Wolf tosses the Brewers manager, gets him ejected out of the game. The home plate umpire was probably really close to throwing out the bench coach, who was going to take over for the manager, because they were face to face. And either which way, JT would get in. Marsh would hit a single, putting the Phillies up 9-8, and then Harrison Bader again with another RBI single, putting the Phillies up 10-8. This is how this one would end. So your winning pitcher would be David Roberts. The save goes to Duran as the Phillies get 10 runs on 14 hits with 1 error. Milwaukee had 8 runs with 10 hits, no errors. That is your official line. I will say this. My bottom line is this. Brandon Marsh, Harrison Bader, 7 for 10 in this game today. If you want to add in from basically where Brandon Marsh was down to the bottom of the lineup, they were 10 for 19, over 500. And, they just did a lot of damage to this Brewers lineup. And I got to give, let's give the Phillies their due. Let's give them their flowers today, because they weren't smacking the ball out of the yard. They had one home run. And that was 1 run. So they scored 9 runs playing small ball today. So you got to give the Phillies their flowers today. There was a great comeback win. Taijuan Walker did not look good at all. I like it. So Nooms is checking in. He says, don't get swept. Check. Should have tossed Ricky Weeks as well. You know what, Al? I thought he was gone. I really did, because him and the home plate umpire were like face to face, and he had to be pulled apart. I thought for sure. Dave Arnold checking in and says JT got away with one. Definitely strike three. He swung at that ball. Big hole in the blue. Well, that happens. It does. I'm not going to, hey, it is for me. This was a playoff game for me. It really, truly was. If you watch this game today, it was punch, counter punch, and that's it. That's it. We're going to see who the best, we're going to see just who the best team is in the National League. And I'll tell you what, this Brewers team is going to be a tough out, I believe, in the postseason. I think them getting bounced last year by the Mets, I think they've improved a ton. And I'll tell you what, they got some guys that are on the injured list, including our old friend Rhys Hoskins, who actually should be ready to come off of the disabled list. So, but I will say this, going into this game, a lot of people didn't feel good about the Phillies, especially after last night. That rookie from Atlanta last night just really shutting the Phillies down last night and really kind of shut them down for 8 innings. And, for the Phillies to go on and lose that game last night, only being able to put up 1 run against that Atlanta team in bullpen, and then to come out for the best team in the National League and you put up 10 runs on them. I mean, that's saying something for what they did today. And you can call me a homer or what, but this is a team that came into Citizens Bank Park earlier this year and swept the Phillies. So for the Phillies to go there after playing the only night game in the whole major leagues and getting into Milwaukee the time they did to have to play an afternoon game. Granted, it's a later afternoon game, but it was still an afternoon game. And for them to put up 10 runs, that's going to be really good. That says bottom line playoff game that could have gotten away from them early and was easy to roll over. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to give the Phillies their flowers today. They fought back. No Bohm in the lineup. Bohm didn't play at all. Bohm didn't play. Castellanos didn't play. So I'll tell you what. I mean, a good comeback for the Phillies. This was a really good comeback for them, and I hope it propels them going forward. Now, the best thing is Phillies haven't scored between 4 and 9 runs for 3 consecutive games in the entire second half. You know what, Nooms? I could care less. As long as they have more runs than the opponent, that's all I'm worried about. I could care less if they don't score between 4 and 9. If they got 4, I want their opponents to have 3 or under, buddy. If they have 3 or under, the Phillies are getting the job done. If they score 9, I want them to have 8 or under. So, to me, that's what I'm feeling about with this Phillies team right now. That was a close call. Can't say you got away with one. Yeah, it's kind of, until they're able to review swings and stuff like that, it's always going to be a judgmental call. So it's going to be, scales. Some of them you're going to be like, he didn't swing and he got punched out. Other ones are going to be like, he swung and he got away with one. So it's going to kind of weigh itself out throughout the year. Dave Yarnell saying, Phillies used 6 guys in the bullpen tonight. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. Phillies used 6 guys in the bullpen tonight. Wow, that's a lot. Well, Dave, they can do so considering they have an off day tomorrow. So that's, to me, I could care less. They could have ran everybody out there tonight. They're off tomorrow, so everybody's going to get a day off. So, they'll be good to go come Wednesday. Would have been an expensive loss. I believe so, Nooms. I believe you on that one. Bottom line is, they're good. All right, Star Wars. The problem is good teams aren't going to scratch out runs. Oh, good. The problem is good teams are going to scratch out runs. Well, I mean, listen, you got to give Milwaukee credit. They were up by 4 runs game. They got the lead taken on them. They fought back too in this game. So it was, like I said, it was a heavyweight fight. It was punch, counter punch. And, I from what I like, I'm liking the fight that I'm seeing out of these Phillies. And I'm liking the fact of these guys that we picked up at the trade deadline are finally working in our favor. You see Bader's batting almost 300 since he's been with the Phillies. He's batting 300. So, I mean, that's all you can ask the guy to do. He said, don't care how good the pitching is. So, I mean, with that, I'm loving the fact of what I'm seeing in this Phillies team. I really am. Like, this has been the only game really that they did not – the 2 games in New York, the 2 end games, the beginning game and the first one, that's the only one that I can say that they look kind of lifeless in. Especially, the 13-3 game. Matter of fact, I had the call. I had the post game on that. That game just got away from them. You know what I mean? It was kind of a snowball effect. Now, that last game in New York, that kind of had me a little worried because it didn't look like they just wanted to get out of Citi Field. So Dave Yarnell says it was definitely Ali Frazier in this game. Wow, it was. It was. Noom saying Cassidy needs to buy into this situation. I think he will. This isn't the first time that Cassidy's been kind of taken off of the proverbial starting lineup. So, all right, guys, listen. Well, pay a little bills here. Coming up after me tonight at 10 o'clock. That's right. The final word with Matty B. Make sure you tune in for him. He will be going over probably this great Phillies game today. Great comeback, I should say. He's probably going to be getting you ready for the Birds as well as they get ready for the boys on Thursday night. So make sure you tune in for the final word. Guys, returning for the 6th season. That's right. Birds Blast with WIP's Kyle Quinn. That's right. Him and Matty B. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. here on It's a Wrap Sports Network. They will be the first season, or kind of, I think they did like a half a season a year ago over here. But Kyle will be back with Matty. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Brand new show on Wednesday night. That's right. Wednesday night. It'll be none other than myself and my special guest from Out of the Box and them 215 boys, Paul Spencer. Props, locks, and parlays. That's right. As we get you ready for the NFL season and college, we will be going over our college picks of the week, our professional or NFL picks of the week, also prop player bets. Like I said, no pressure sports betting, and of course, this is for entertainment purposes only. So make sure you guys tune in. That'll be Wednesday night at 7. Thursday night, scheduled for Thursday night at 9. I don't know if Steve is going to move this yet, but the attacking third will be on with Steve and Pat as they have you covered for everything MLS and the Philadelphia Union. Friday night, the wraparound, it'll be either Pat Bernard or myself hosting the wraparound. So make sure you guys tune in for that. We will be doing live. We'll be doing probably Eagles, talking about the first game of the year, and we'll have you covered. Speaking of Eagles and post-game, that's right, the Birds Flyby with Steve Fuentes Thursday night. Make sure you stay up for that one as he will be going over doing the post-game for the Birds and the boys. Will the Eagles start off 1-0? Will the Cowboys come in here and get a win? That we do not know. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And, of course, Saturday, that's right, this Saturday, it is the Happy Valley Huddle as Penn State will take on FIU. They will be taking on them. So as soon as that game goes final, you will have yours truly on that call. So make sure you guys tune in for that as well. And, of course, to finish out this series, you will have myself Wednesday. That's right. So I got double duty on Wednesday with props, locks, and parlays, and also the Fighting's final for Wednesday night. So make sure you do that. And Thursday, Matty B will be taking the call on the Fighting's final. So make sure you guys tune in for that. As we got you covered, football season is upon us, and all the great shows that you're seeing right now on It's a Wrap Sports Network. Make sure you guys tune in for all that. Snoom says, can't believe they scored that TT play a hit. Yeah, me neither. Ryan Swope checking in saying, hi, guys. Well, again, this game tonight to me was the bottom of the lineup. Again, going 10 for 19 tonight, over 500 in this game. Let me bring up their scores real quick. I just want to see what they went. They were 10 for 19 with 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. They were 10 for 19 with 7 RBIs tonight. 7 RBIs for the bottom of this lineup. That is, I'm talking about, and if you're looking at the lineup, I can give you the lineup right here. Literally, first 5 were Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Real Muto. There was your first 4 in the lineup, and they won a combined 17. They were 4 for 17 with 2 walks, 3 runs batted in. That was the top of the lineup. First 4 guys. 5 through 9, 10 for 19, 7 runs batted in. This Phillies team is dangerous when the bottom of the lineup is clicking. And again, the 2 guys at the bottom of the lineup that were really hitting tonight was Brandon Marsh, 4 for 5, and Harrison Bader going, I think it was 3 for 4 or 3 for 5. Bader was 3 for 5. So, I mean, you look at it, 7 hits between the 2 guys. 7 hits. And between 7 out of 10. That's a 750 clip for those 2 guys. 750 and 4 runs batted in between those 2 guys. I mean, what a night for those guys as well. Bryson Stott, I thought, had a good night as well. I believe he was 2 for 4. He didn't get to his 5th at bat, but he was 2 for 4 with a run batted in. Edmundo Sosa was also 1 for 3 with a 1 hit, 1 for 3 with a RBI as well. Kepler was 1. He was 0 for 2 with 2 walks. So, and an RBI. So kept, the bottom of the lineup just really, really, really produced tonight. And I feel like they're the unsung heroes of this game right now. So with that being said, guys, we're going to take a trip around the bases. Alrighty, guys, in the nation's capital today, it was the Nationals 2, the Marlins nothing. Cincinnati Reds win 5-4 over the Blue Jays. It was the Mets 10-8 in Detroit over those Tigers. It was the Red Sox 6, the Guardians 4. It was the White Sox 6, the Twins 5 in Minnesota. It was the Astros 8, the Angels 3. It was the Athletics 11, the Cardinals 3. It was the Cubbies walking off on those Braves 7-6 today. It was the Phillies 10-8 over the Brewers. The Giants 8, the Rockies 2. Right now in the 4th inning, it is the Orioles 2, the Padres 2. Bottom of the 2nd, it is the Mariners 8. Or I'm sorry, it was the Mariners 0, the Rays 0. And tonight out west, it is the Arizona Diamondbacks. And roughly about, I'd say about 8 minutes or so, they're going to get underway in Arizona with the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. So there you have the out-of-town scoreboard right now. If you're looking at the standings right now, they still hold a 5.5 game lead over those New York Mets. I do believe it should be 6 now because it's final. So it should be 6, not 5.5. So it'll be 6. Be back up around 6. So, again, if you're looking at it, they were 7 games ahead of the Mets when they played the Mets a week ago. And literally, they've lost 1 game in a week. They've lost 1 game in a week. And like you said, we have to play them guys coming up right now. And I think it's going to be pretty good. He said Harrison Bader is the Nick Maton of the outfield. Don't throw him high in middle of the zone fastball. Listen, I love Harrison Bader. I thought the Phillies should have tried to get him 2 years ago. So the fact that the Phillies got him now, I really, really like the fact of what they're doing and how they got everything. So, what a game. I mean, I'm literally just now catching my breath on that game tonight. And I'll tell you what, it's been well worth it. Guys, again, don't forget, you will have myself Wednesday night following the final pitch. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Matty B will have you on Thursday. Again, this is the Phillies schedule coming up right here. Last night with Atlanta, they lost. They won this game today, as you're saying. 7:40 their time, and then an afternoon game on Thursday. So they should be getting – the Phillies should be just ending by the time the Eagles are just about ready to kick off. They do go to Florida over the weekend before they come home with that big 4-game series with the Mets. I think this is where they put the Mets away for the year. I think they put them away and they move above them. So, I mean, after that Mets series, they have 15 games left. So it all depends really like what goes on this week, because in the same spot, you have the Mets got 2 more in Detroit. Then they got a weekend series with the Reds before they hit the Phillies. And even like after that, they have the Padres coming in. So, I mean, it's going to be really fun to see about what happens going forward. Again, guys, real quick, we're going to go back around the horn here. Matty B tonight, 10 o'clock, with the final word. Tomorrow, the debut of Birds Blast for season 6. Make sure you guys tune into that at 7 o'clock. Wednesday, that's right, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Props, Locks, and Parlays, also with myself and also Paul Spencer from Out of the Box and them 215 boys. Make sure you check us out on that night. Thursday should be after the final whistle, the Birds Flyby with Steve Fuentes. Make sure you guys check that out. Of course, probably while the game's going on, Steve will probably be talking Union with him and Pat with the attacking third and everything else MLS. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Friday, the wraparound, 10:30, we will be doing a review of the Eagles, whether it's me, whether it's Pat. You never know. So make sure you guys tune in. Sunday morning, that's right, Sunday morning, me, Al, maybe even Pat, tune in for P&M and the AM. Your Sundays will never be the same. And, of course, right after Penn State, FIU, the Happy Valley Huddle, make sure you guys tune in for that. Cannot wait to see you guys. So make sure you guys are there. And that will be it for tonight. Phillies win 10-8. What a game. What a game. What a game. Here it is. Would love to play the Reds as a nice playoff tune-up. Man, be careful what you ask for, man. I think the Reds are going to be a scary team if they get in. I really do. I have no confidence. I don't have no confidence really on any other team other than the Brewers. Like, the Brewers are probably playing the best ball right now out of anybody. And, for the first time, I think, in a while now, this may, we're in September now. So I'm going to see over the next 2 weeks, like, who is the hottest team in the National League? Could it be the Mets? Could it be the Reds? How about the San Francisco Giants? There ain't that far behind them as well. Arizona, not that far behind them. Now, Arizona had a nice weekend beating up on the Dodgers. So, you don't know who's going to be the hot team, but there always is one. So I don't know, guys. I'm waiting to see what happens there. And these next couple of weeks should be really good. And especially, like I said, after the Phillies go down and play Florida this weekend, down in Florida, they gotta go. They gotta keep winning series. That's all they have to keep doing. They got to keep winning series and keep applying that pressure to the Mets. If they go into a 4-game series with the Mets, literally, again, as I just had the schedule up, they go into a 4-game series with that Mets and, with the Mets, and they're up 8 games. You know what I mean? And they take 3 out of 4 from the Mets. Now you're looking at 11 with 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 11, 12, 15. You're up 11 with 15 left to go. You only have to win literally your next 4 games after that. You win 2 there and 2 there, and, they could be celebrating by the time they get back out of Arizona. You know what I mean? So they could have this division wrapped up. And like I said, if you're looking at it, the Mets have a brutal, and I mean brutal, schedule in the month of September. I do believe if I was looking at it right, like it's pretty bad if I remember right. Like I said, I know they have a 10-game stretch right now where it's just unreal. Their 10-game stretch really starts with they started today with the Tigers. They did win 10-8. They got 2 more with the Tigers. Then they kick off a 3-game set with the Reds, 4 with the Phillies, and then after that they get the Rangers and the Padres coming up to Flushing before they get a little 3-game break with the Nationals up in Flushing, but then they got to take a trip to Wrigley to play the Cubs, and then they finish out with the Marlins, and like that's a pretty nasty little bumpy of a schedule there. I'll take my chances going to LA and playing the Dodgers right now. The Dodgers they're not healthy. They're not really playing that well. They're in first place, but that's only because I believe, honestly, San Diego had a bad weekend. And they've been kind of over the last few. If you take a look at the National League, the Padres are 5-5 in their last. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. The Dodgers are 6-4, and they only hold a 2-game lead. So, I'm pretty sure they're going to have another series. The Dodgers are 8-2. I mean, the Giants are 8-2 in their last 10 games right now. And they've had the best record in the National League over the last 10 games. So, and they're right there. They're not that far behind the Mets. The Mets are 74. They're 5 games behind the Mets right now. They're 1 game behind the Reds, as we're talking about. If you're looking at it, it's basically the Mets are the last wild card team with 74. If you're looking at it, we go Brewers, Phillies, Dodgers, and then it would go Cubs. It looks like it would be Cubs, Padres, and Mets. You know what I mean? And right on the outskirts is the Reds and the Giants right now. So, I mean, anything's possible right now with this. So, I'm saying our best baseball of the year was Padres and Red stretch before the All-Star break. Yeah, I think this team's starting to play a little bit better, though, Nooms. I mean, they really are. I mean, Turner's getting on base. He's got I think he's high with the league lead, National League lead for hits. Offense more consistent in April for us. They were. This offense has to get a little more consistent for my liking as well. So, with that being said, guys, again, final score tonight, it was the Phillies 10. Those Milwaukee Brewers 8. 10-8 was your final. Again, I will have you on the call on Wednesday after an off day tomorrow, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. Coming up roughly in about an hour and some change, it'll be Matty B. He will be on here live, so make sure you tune in for the final word with him. Again, tomorrow we have the return of Birds Blast, so make sure you tune in for that. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. I got double duty on Wednesday for props, locks, and parlays, and also the Fightins final. Again, guys, your final score from Milwaukee is the Phillies 10, the Brewers 8. The Phillies take game 1, man. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm Mike Lauro. You guys have a good night and have a great rest of your holiday. I'll see you guys on Wednesday.